Well, this is not the news I wanted to report today, but FBI Director Christopher Wray announced that he will resign in advance of Trump taking office in January. My name is Suri Crowe, and you are watching the MeidasTouch Network. Let's get into it. Yep, Chris Wray isn't going to wait for Donald Trump to force him out or fire him as the director of the FBI, and that is a bad move, in my opinion. If you've been watching me lately, you've probably seen me toting around my handy dandy little book on tyranny, which is 20 lessons from the 20th century written by Timothy Snyder, who is a Yale scholar and an expert on authoritarianism. And the number one rule in the book is do not obey in advance. And that is exactly what Christopher Wray did by resigning today, in my opinion. He just made Donald Trump's destruction of critical American institutions that much easier by stepping out of the way in advance. Here's Evan Perez from CNN on the breaking news.
Chris Wray is telling the FBI employees that he is planning to resign, that he's planning to resign soon. It's not effective immediately. We don't know more details at this point, but this has been something that obviously has been the talk of Washington, has been talk of the country, because President Trump has made clear that he plans to replace Christopher Wray, FBI leadership. He already has chosen Kash Patel as his next FBI director. So the question was really just a matter of when is he planning to go? Whether does he plan to leave on January 20th? Does he plan to resign? Or does he plan to wait for President Trump, the incoming president, to fire him? So the answer now, as of this hour, with the FBI director having an all-hands meeting with the FBI employees, the answer is that he plans to leave ahead of the new president's arrival. So some of the details, I think, are still to be worked out. And behind the scenes, Boris, there's been a big discussion for the FBI. One of the parts of this has been how to do an orderly transition to whoever is going to take over. But there also was pushback from people inside this building, also from people at the FBI, which is not normalizing what Donald Trump is doing, which is to just habitually replace FBI directors that he doesn't like. These people are supposed to serve 10-year terms for a reason, to try to remove them from the influence of politics.
That part. It is not normal to fire a sitting FBI director. FBI directors have 10-year terms on purpose. They are supposed to overlap different presidential administrations so that the law enforcement agency is not politicized. But Trump, who fired James Comey, and we all remember that debacle and that hot mess, he also appointed Chris Wray, who is a Republican. And now, as he is getting ready to step into the White House once again, which I still can't believe we're back here, is now forcing out Christopher Wray, and he is once again destroying another norm or guardrail of our democracy. Here is David Fromm on exactly how insane that is.
There's going to be a lot of discussion about Kash Patel and what he's like. But before we even get to that alarming subject, we have to get to this shocking thing, and we're now get so used to it, that President-elect Trump is talking about firing the current director of the FBI. And again, this will seem strange. You're used to when a new president comes in, there's a new CIA director. That's normal. There's a new cabinet. That's normal. The president-elect or the incoming president makes lots of new appointments. But for 50 years, it has just been unheard of for a new president to do that with the FBI. And there's a backstory and a history, and we can go through chapter and verse. But with Trump, even if Trump were picking the best person in the world instead of maybe the worst person in the world, which is what he's doing, this would still be shocking. And how astonishing where we are is. So the Federal Bureau of Investigation was founded at the beginning of the 20th century. For a long time, it was headed by a man named J. Edgar Hoover, who abused power in all kinds of really heinous ways. And Hoover would do deals with presidents where he would say, I will do favor, you keep me in this job forever. And I will do favors for you of a kind that are pretty improper when you need it. And presidents he didn't work for the president because presidents were often afraid of him, but he would do business with them. And this led to one scandal after another, and it all sort of exploded in the early 1970s. And after that experience, a new protocol was established, which is the FBI director would be a career person, non-political, and appointed for 10 years.
So this is an incredibly dangerous precedent, because if the person who is running the largest and most powerful law enforcement agency in America is working at the behest and direction of the president, people's lives can be turned upside down in very negative and frightening ways.
The general makes policy, but the attorney general doesn't run a police force. Look, most crimes in the United States are prosecuted by local and state police, and they are of varying qualities. But federal crimes are so serious, and federal law enforcement power is so awesome that the United States does not want to be one of those countries where the head of state says, prosecute this person and don't prosecute that person. This person is my enemy. If they've done anything wrong, throw the book at them. This person is my friend. Whatever they've done wrong, protect them. And remember also, simply being investigated is an ordeal, even if no charges are ever brought. The decision to start an investigation, as Hillary Clinton can tell you, even if you're completely vindicated, is a life-altering, terrible experience.
Right.
So the power to initiate even an investigation has to be just beyond reproach.
Despite MAGA Republicans' criticisms of Chris Wray, he has been a remarkably steady presence in the Bureau. This is according to the Washington Post, and he is generally respected by career staffers. At a charity event in Washington in mid-November, Natalie Barra, president of the FBI Agents Association, alluded to the possibility that Trump could fire Wray before his 10-year term is complete. Boss, by my count, you have 3 years left in your term, Barra said as she introduced Wray. The hundreds of current and former FBI employees in attendance cheered in support of their director. So he has had a very steadying presence at the agency, and he is well liked. And that is a good thing. President Biden hasn't messed with him, even as there has been criticism of Wray from the left. And of course, Trump has been furious at him because he didn't participate in exacting revenge on Trump's political enemies. So we're going down a very dangerous slope indeed. Trump's goal, and that of the creepy shadow president, Elon Musk, who is not elected by the American people. In fact, he's not even an American citizen, and he has no business representing millions of Americans, wants to dismantle our institutions. Trump, by appointing MAGA conspiracy theorist Kash Patel to run the FBI, is not only that Patel is an unqualified joke, but he is a man bent on revenge for Trump. Trump's past and previous appointees to agency positions all appear to have one thing in common, and that is that they hate the actual institution that they're in charge of. Sandy Bauckham put this out on X. He's installing them to destroy each agency. I found that statement very chilling. I saw that a few days ago because it's very Putin-esque. I believe that Trump is maybe even doing this at the direction of Putin. He is installing people like Patel and putting up these crazy appointees for all these different agencies, specifically to destroy the agencies from the inside out. And as I sit here talking to you, I am awaiting a package from the U.S. Postal Service that is now officially, almost 10 days late, according to the tracking. It supposedly was supposed to be here, but it's lost somewhere, and I don't know if I will ever get my package. It appears to be lost, and that is exactly the way that the Postmaster General, Louis DeJoy, apparently wants it. Here's Republican Representative from Georgia, Richard McCormick, shredding DeJoy in a congressional hearing earlier this week.
You cannot give yourself that grade.
I just did.
You can't. You can't grade your own paper, sir. I've been to medical school.
Well, then,
I got my MBA. You can't. I'm sorry. You were graded by the United States people, and they don't use your service anymore. You bankrupt.
that is not true.
You
That is
bankrupt
not
this
true,
through
sir.
your
My
reputation
business is
only.
growing.
Through your
Our
reputation,
business is growing.
you are responsible for the fall of the Postal Service
Now,
and the
this
lack of
Congress,
accountability.
This Congress is responsible for
doesn't-
all the Postal
so it's
Service.
Congress's-
I am trying to fix
On
the
your
Postal
watch.
Service.
With all the AI.
Before my watch, the same stuff
With
happened.
all
worse.
the AI, with all the computer systems, you're worse than if I took
You're
a
talking
horse
to yourself.
and picked up the mail and delivered it 2 miles down the road. That's you. I hope you got that on camera. This is the response that the postmaster just gave Congress when he doesn't like what he hears. Literally covered his ears and gave himself the grade of A. And with that, sir, I rest.
I mean, what are we now in first grade where we're putting our hands over our ears as a leader of one of the biggest institutions in America? Does that appear to be a man who is taking his job seriously? And then here is Illinois Representative Raja Krishnamurthy ripping into DeJoy for the epic failures of the United States Postal Service.
You have received over $2.1 million in compensation. $2.1 million in compensation just during your tenure. So what bothers me is this. During your tenure, service standards have gone down. Affordability of mail has gone down. Your compensation has gone way, way, way up. And that's deeply, deeply troubling. Let me turn your attention to another issue, which I
agree.
Let me show you another undelivered mail report. Instructed to leave mail behind by management. And then let me show you a fourth undelivered mail report that came to our attention. Do you see this? At the very bottom, it says, quote, delivering for America, exclamation point, question mark, laughable. Isn't that what it's saying?
That's what you are saying, so I'll take your word for it.
But DeJoy did exactly what Trump wanted. Once again, he destroyed the Postal Service from the inside out. DeJoy, who has multi-million-dollar businesses that are in direct competition with the Postal Service. You know, Trump did not want mail-in ballots to actually get to where they were going because he didn't want Democrats to successfully have their ballots counted. And furthermore, Trump and the Republicans want to completely dismantle the federal government. They want to privatize everything so that millionaires and billionaires make all the profits. And we, the American people, the working class and the poor, well, we get nothing. All I can say and keep repeating is that we cannot expect the MAGAs to play nice. They will not. Get that through your head. And I'm saying that maybe not as much to you all who might be watching, but maybe I'm hoping to our politicians or get rid of the Pollyanna thinking. They are not playing nice. We should know this by now. We're 10 years into this tyranny of Donald Trump. Our politicians need to stop thinking that we are in some bipartisan love box where we reach out to our friends across the aisle. Those days ended a long time ago when Donald Trump stepped into the arena. So we cannot cede anything to them. And today, Chris Wray did just that by saying he would resign in advance. I firmly believe that he should have made Trump fire him. Drag it out. Take up as much time as necessary. Drag through congressional hearings. Take up as much time in the media headspace as possible because that is going to cause them to have to expend energy explaining why they would fire Christopher Wray because there's no cause for Trump to do so. Do not make anything easy for these people. Donald Trump is a dictator on day one. He has told us that. We have to take that seriously. We can't have our politicians and Democrats or independents saying, well, we hope they're going to vote on principle. They don't have principles. Anybody who had principles like Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger and some others, they left. They're gone. Pew, out the door. They're not there anymore. So we, the pro-democracy movement, we have to fight. We have to be scrappy like Ukrainians. We give them nothing. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. But I'm serious, man. Do not obey in advance. Cede nothing. We're basically, I hate to use the W word, but we are in a battle. We're now the opposition party, right? We are the opposition. We don't give them anything. We fight. We're scrappy. We don't give an inch. All right. Thank you for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are. And my name is Suri Crowe for the MeidasTouch Network. We're the opposition party. Okay. Peace.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.